Guys, have you ever felt like you wanted to change everything that's happening to you in your life right now? Well, this past week I had two major sources of inspiration. One of them left me feeling like absolute crap. The other one made me want to dust myself off, pick myself up, and start making a change. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Hello YouTube, and a very special hello to all my subscribers. My name's Phil and welcome to my channel if you're joining me for the first time. This is where I talk about my quest to build an online income, and I share all my tips and everything I'm doing to try and do that. So if you're not a subscriber, why not become one now? Okay, so over the past couple of weeks, I've been talking about how we can take a product that is fairly affordable and we can try and convert at least 1% of our traffic so that we can make a change in our life. So let's start talking. Now, so these past experiences, I got to tell you, so the first one was a bit of a run-in with my work, with one of my managers. So over the past weekend in Taiwan and also in China, there's a pretty big celebration. It's called Dragon Boat Festival, and it's where you get sort of a long weekend. So often me and my wife, we don't get to spend a lot of time together, and this was going to be one of the weekends. However, I worked on Wednesday night. Thursday we decided to go to the seaside, and I had to go back to work on Friday evening. We came all the way back after a long drive, and I went into the school and they looked up and they're like, "Phil, why are you here? Your class got cancelled." I'm like, "No one told me." And that was the moment when I was like, I want to quit this job. I cannot be done with these kind of people anymore that treat you like this. I want to be my own boss. But I'm in the situation where I cannot do that. I cannot quit that job until I start getting an income. And then of course, yesterday I had another form of inspiration from the Income School channel. They released a video talking about people who were making over $1,000 a month on fairly minimal traffic. And when they said minimal traffic, they were talking about 10,000 page views a month. And that's exactly where I am. Now, I do feel like I've been dropping the ball a little bit with monetization on my site. I've really been concentrating on the traffic, but this has really given me the kick up the arse that I need to start changing things so I can finally tell my boss to go and themselves. Okay, so I mentioned this $9.99 1% challenge a couple of weeks ago. So I've been racking my brains over the past couple of days thinking, okay, how can I start? What can I actually sell as an info product? Well, this is the question that we all need to ask ourselves as content creators. It's quite simple, in fact. All we're doing is we're looking for a pain point and we're trying to offer a solution. Now, most people, when they have an issue in their lives, they don't actually want to learn how to fix it. They just want someone to fix it. And that's what we're aiming for. So how can you find out the pain point? Well, the best source of information for this is actually from your audience. So why not just ask them? So there are lots of different ways that you can find out about the pain points that your audience is having right now. So I'm just going to talk about a few of them. So the best way to do this is to be involved within your community, within your audience, and one of the best ways is Facebook groups. Now, if you are not a member of any Facebook groups within your niche, you should become one right now. Go and join as many Facebooks as you can. I do this with every single niche that I have a website in, and I find it really useful. So basically all you do is you just check it every day, see what kind of questions people are asking, what kind of advice are people giving, what is generally the topic of conversation. Within that, you're going to find some pain points, and those could be the sources of your info products. And in addition to Facebook groups, you can also use Facebook ads. Now what I mean here is we're all bombarded with ads normally. Well, some of you probably have ad blocker on, but you can use the ads as inspiration. So it doesn't even matter if the ad is directed at your niche. Just look at what people are promoting, because if you're paying money to promote something, you're probably getting money back. So you could adapt a product or an approach to something in another niche to your own niche. So this could be something that's really useful. The other really good source of information to find out a pain point is actually forums. So this can be Reddit, it can be Quora. These are quite good because people ask clear questions and you get clear answers and there's comments and everything. But not only Reddit and Quora, but you can also look at the traditional forums, you know, the ones that look a little bit like 1990s, early 2000s. Because again, people are in there with issues, they're asking questions, and it can tell you lots of information about what your audience is thinking. In addition to forums, you can actually use YouTube. Now, you may have a YouTube channel yourself. If you don't, I'm sure there's lots of YouTube channels within your niche. What you want to do is go onto as many videos as you can and look through the comments. What you're doing is looking for questions. And there's a really quick hack that one of the guys from the Income School community mentioned to me. I can't remember his name, but I know he's from Scotland. And he said a really cool tip he'd picked up is to use the search function. So if you're on Windows, that's Control F, and you basically are looking for questions. So you look for question marks. I know it's on Windows, it's Control F. I don't know what it is for Apple products. I haven't used an Apple product since about 1996. I'm, yeah, a bit of an Apple phobia there. So yeah, go through and look at the question marks and it will bring up all the questions there. And that's a really quick way to look through and see what people are asking about on YouTube comments. In addition to YouTube, you can also look at blog comments. Now, you may have comments enabled on your blog, you may not, but your competitors may have them enabled. So again, go through and you're just looking for what are people asking about. So blog comments can be a really good way of doing this as well. In addition to all of those things, you may also have an email list that you can access. And again, this is a direct contact with your audience. So it's a great source of asking questions and answering questions. And if all that fails you, how about the traditional way, face to face? Now, for example, if you are in a pet niche, a dog niche, for example. So I have a dog, Mia, and every single evening we meet up with about 20 other dog owners. Now, if I had a website in the dog niche and if I spoke Chinese, I could just ask them questions in conversation. You know, what do they find difficult about owning a dog? What issues do they have? What would they like to solve? So if you have any direct access to people within your niche that you meet on a face-to-face basis, just engage them in conversation. You might hear something to your advantage. So how exactly can you utilize this source of information? Well, there are two different ways. You can do it in a passive way, literally just reading through comments and questions, or you can do it in an active way. So if you're on Facebook, you know, Facebook groups, you can actually post a question yourself. You know, hey guys, I'm just wondering, what's the biggest issue you have in this niche? Or, you know, hey guys, if you had this problem, how would you solve it? So you can use this as a sort of a social canvassing way of getting information about pain points, either ones that you already know about or trying to discover ones that you aren't maybe aware of. And another way is, for example, if you have an email list, just go and send an email with a question. Hey, what is the biggest problem that you have? How could I help you? If you've got a YouTube channel, put it into the question. By the way, guys, what's the biggest issue you have with building an online income? Is there anything I can help you with? Any real issues that you're having at the moment? Maybe we can talk about that in a future video. It's as easy as that. And you can really pinpoint the information by doing this in a more active way. Now, one of the things I've kind of discovered, particularly from joining Income School, if you're not aware of what Income School is, it's a company that's set up by Jim Harmer and Ricky Kessler, and they've created an excellent course called Project 24. I'm a member of that, and this is basically how I've managed to get to this point in my career as a content creator. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about that, there's a link in the description. So one of the things I've found out from listening to these guys, being active in the community, is that I am not a normal person. The way I see the world is a lot different to the way that other people see the world. Okay, for example, I am incredibly cheap. up until recently, whenever I was trying to build up traffic and stuff, I did not want to pay a penny for anything. I wanted to learn how to do it for free and etc etc. But I have realized that I'm in the minority. A lot more people are willing to pay for the solution directly. So if I went about creating my info products based on my own perspective of the world, I'd probably get it wrong. There would be far fewer people like me who would buy my product. They probably wouldn't buy my product if it was me, than people who are willing for the quick solution. So this is why it's really important to open your mind and listen to your audience rather than basing all your business decisions on your own experience. So this brings me to another point, which is you probably are already sitting on the perfect info product, but you just haven't realized it yet. Now, I can give you an example of this. With my colleague Michael, we started up a YouTube channel all about the IELTS exam, which is an English exam, and we started that back about 2 or 3 months ago. And on this project, I do all the editing. So I was editing a couple of videos the other day, and I realized that we kept mentioning something. We kept talking about a vocabulary notebook to help you learn. But I realized that we'd never really explained how to make one, we've never explained how to use one, and we never really showed the audience what one looked like. So he was next door literally, and I went over and said, hey, first of all, this is a great idea for a video. So the next time we had a filming day, we created a video all about it. And then I started thinking, hey, what if we just created something that was a little bit better than just a free resource? What if we made this into a great tool that people could literally pick up and just run with? Wouldn't that be worth about $10? I think so, because these guys, they're paying a couple $100 for the test, which is going to take them to university, which will cost them a couple of thousands of dollars. So for a $10 product that would help them definitely get onto that path, I think that would be worth it. And another example of this is I'm quite active in the Facebook groups for the IELTS. I'm a member of lots and lots of different groups. I spend about 20 minutes a day just answering questions from students and promoting our YouTube channel. And I see the same type of questions come up again and again and again. And the major one is, how do I start preparing for this exam? Now, I look at the answers and normally, yeah, they make sense, but they're just lacking a bit of substance. And I thought, hey, that's another info product. If I could come up with a really solid study plan that would work for a number of different types of people at different levels, and they could literally just pick that product up and start studying day one, again, wouldn't that be worth about $10? Maybe even more. So the thing is, you may be sitting on your info product already. It may be very obvious to you, but until you start looking at the audience and what they're asking, you may not know that you've already got a golden ticket in your back pocket. So if this is your kind of first time thinking about creating your own digital product or info product, then you may need a little bit more information. Now, I've learned a lot from being a Project 24 member, and Income School actually have a really good course all about creating info products. So if you are interested in learning more, why not check out that link in the description. It is an affiliate link, and if you choose to buy through that link, I may get a commission, which I really appreciate because I put that right back into my business. So the first thing to do is to figure out the pain points and to think of how you can offer the solution. The next thing is, how do you promote it? Well, that's something we're going to talk about in another video, so I'll see you then. If you're not a subscriber already, why not become one right now? If you have any questions at all, please leave me a comment. If not, I'll see you in the next video.